Today, you will hear a funny and simple English story called When My GPS Betrayed Me. It's about a normal day that turns into a big adventure when my GPS takes me to the wrong place. Listen carefully and enjoy this short and funny story. It was a sunny Saturday morning. The sky was very blue, and the air was fresh. I opened my window and took a deep breath. Birds were singing outside, and everything looked peaceful. I smiled and said, "What a beautiful day." I had a plan. I wanted to visit my old friend, Tom. He lived in another town, about 2 hours away. I made some breakfast, drank my coffee, and packed a small bag. I was excited to see him because we had not met for a long time. Before I left, I checked my phone and opened the GPS app. I typed Tom's address and pressed Start. A calm voice said, "Turn right in 500 meters. I thought, perfect. This will be an easy trip. Nothing can go wrong. I got into my car, turned on some music, and started to drive. The road was clean and quiet. I passed by small houses, green trees, and a few people walking their dogs. The wind came through the window and felt nice on my face. Everything was simple and happy. I followed the GPS carefully. Every time it said, "Turn left" or "Go straight," I listened. I trusted it like a smart friend who always knows the way. I didn't even check the map myself. As I drove, I thought about all the fun things Tom and I would do. Maybe we would eat pizza, talk about old times, and watch a movie. I felt calm and safe. But what I didn't know was that this easy trip was about to become a big, strange adventure. My GPS, my best travel helper, was going to betray me very soon. I kept driving slowly, hoping to find a main road again. But after 10 minutes, I realized I was completely lost. The trees looked the same in every direction. The air felt quiet and heavy. Even the birds stopped singing. I stopped the car and looked around. There were no signs, no houses, no people. Just an empty field and a narrow dirt path behind me. I said to myself, "Okay, this is bad. Very bad." I opened my phone again, but there was still no signal. The GPS screen showed only a blue dot in the middle of nothing. I laughed nervously and said, "Great, just me and the forest." Then I decided to get out of the car and walk a little. Maybe I could find someone to ask for help. I walked for about 15 minutes, but I saw nothing. Only old trees, dry grass, and a few birds flying away. I started to feel tired and thirsty. Suddenly, I heard a strange sound. It was like an old engine far away. I listened carefully. The sound became louder. I ran back to the road, and I saw a small tractor coming slowly toward me. An old man was driving it, wearing a hat and smiling. I waved my hands and shouted, "Hello! Can you help me, please?" He stopped the tractor and looked at me with surprise. "What are you doing here?" he asked in a calm voice. "My GPS. It sent me this way," I said. "I think I'm lost." The man laughed softly. "Oh, that GPS. It always tricks people. You are not the first one." I smiled, half embarrassed and half relieved. Finally, I wasn't alone anymore. But I had no idea that this was only the beginning, because the man was about to take me somewhere I didn't expect at all. The old man told me to follow him with my car. His tractor moved slowly, so I drove behind him. After about 15 minutes, I saw some small houses in the distance. Finally, I was going somewhere that looked like a village. When we entered the village, I noticed something strange. The houses were very old, made of wood and stone. There were no cars, no shops, not even a gas station. Only a few people sitting outside, staring at me as if they hadn't seen a stranger for years. The man stopped his tractor and said, "Welcome to our village. You can rest here for a while." I parked my car and got out. "Thank you," I said. "Do you know how I can get back to the main road?" He smiled. "Maybe later. First, come and have some tea." I didn't want to be rude, so I followed him. His house was small but clean. Inside, there was no TV, no internet, just a table, 2 chairs, and an old radio playing soft music. He poured me a cup of tea and said, "The GPS always sends lost people here. We don't even have it in this village. Maybe your phone wanted you to visit us." I laughed and said, "Maybe my GPS is just tired of cities." While drinking tea, I looked outside. The children were playing with sticks, and chickens were walking on the road. Everything felt peaceful but also a little unreal, like time had stopped in this place. Then I asked, "What is the name of this village?" The man looked at me and said, "We call it Silent Hill." I stopped for a moment. "Silent Hill," I repeated. He smiled. "Yes, but don't worry. It's not scary. It's just very quiet." We both laughed, but deep inside, I felt something strange. As if the GPS hadn't made a mistake at all. Maybe I was meant to come here. After drinking tea, I thanked the old man and said, "I really need to go now. My friend is waiting for me." He nodded and said, "Of course, but you can't drive that way again. The road is too bad. I will show you another path." He walked outside and pointed to a small hill. "If you go up there, you'll see the main road." I smiled. "Thank you so much." I got into my car and started driving up the hill. The road was narrow and full of mud. I pressed the gas pedal, but my car began to slide. Suddenly, the tires got stuck in the mud. I tried again, nothing. The car didn't move. I sighed and said, "Not again." I got out, looked around, and saw the old man coming with his tractor again. He was laughing. "I told you the road was bad," he said. I laughed too. "Yes, you were right. My GPS didn't tell me that part." He tied a rope from his tractor to my car. Then he started the engine and began to pull slowly. The car moved a little, then more, and finally it was free. I shouted, "Yes, thank you." He smiled and said, "No problem. Now go straight until you see the big road. And next time, trust your eyes more than your GPS." I nodded. "I will. I promise." Before leaving, I gave him a small bottle of water and said, "For your help." He laughed again and said, "Come visit Silent Hill again, but maybe without the GPS." We both laughed loudly. Then I waved goodbye and drove away, finally seeing the main road again. My clothes were dirty. My car was covered in mud, but I couldn't stop smiling. It was a strange adventure, but also a funny one. And I knew I would never forget that day. When I finally reached the main road, I stopped for a moment. The sun was already setting, and the sky looked orange and gold. I turned off the engine and sat quietly, thinking about everything that had happened. I had started the day so confidently, thinking my GPS knew everything. But in the end, it took me to a strange village, made me meet an old man, and gave me one of the most unforgettable days of my life. I laughed softly and said to myself, maybe the GPS didn't betray me. Maybe it just wanted me to learn something. I looked at my phone again. The GPS signal came back. The voice said, "Turn left in 200 meters. I smiled and said, "Not this time. I know my own way now." Then I turned off the GPS and followed the road using the signs instead. While driving, I thought about the people in the quiet village, the children playing, the old man smiling, and the tea that tasted like peace. I realized that sometimes, when we get lost, we actually find something important. When I finally arrived at my friend's house, Tom opened the door and said, "What took you so long?" I laughed and said, "Long story. My GPS betrayed me, but it also gave me an adventure I'll never forget." He smiled. "Well, I hope your GPS brings you here again soon." I answered, "Maybe, but next time, I'll bring a map too." And that was the end of my strange but wonderful journey. The day when my GPS betrayed me, and I learned to trust myself a little more. And that was today's story. When my GPS betrayed me. Sometimes getting lost can lead to the best adventures, right? If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more fun and easy English stories, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Daily English Academy. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if something like this has ever happened to you. I love reading your stories and ideas. See you in the next episode, where we'll learn English together through another funny and real-life story.